A whole lot of nurses are struggling with some issues. Don't believe me? Stay tuned. Each year, millions of people become aware of mental health, mental illness, and nurses are not immune to this. Real issues in nursing, mental illness, and stress. There are nurses, and I know they don't want you to know about this, or they're not comfortable telling you, but I'm going to tell you, that are struggling with depression, compound with they need to work, have to work. We all have high expectations, and the story never turned out. The story never turned out the way we wanted to it. Incidentally, Mental Health Awareness is in May. I guess I missed the mark. But we need to talk about it. We really do. It do happen in nursing more so than you ever heard about it. I'm pretty sure we heard what happened recently. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to explore what happened in California because I really don't know. But I just wanted to talk about mental health, mental illness, depression, burned out in nursing. I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think at this point hospital is aware of the nurse. Let's not even say that. We know that a lot of nurses, they have a lot of issues. I'm going to speak the truth. We go through a lot. Not only it pertaining to what goes on in work, the different politics, your co-worker, dealing with it. But when you bring in other issues from your personal life, it conflicts. It doesn't match together. I want to start this video, and I want you to imagine. Imagine that you were working in a hospital and you see this guy. He was a cleaner in the hospital. He cleans the floor. And because you worked there, you develop a relationship with him, and you all have kids. And as a nurse, you decided, maybe we need to, we're always trying to elevate our man. I'm talking to you females now. And you send him you encourage him, send him to nursing school. And in your mind, you think that he's going to come back, elevate the family, and together we'll build this empire, so to speak. And the next day, after he passed his boards, you realize that he's no longer there. He's gone. He's gone. And even though your friends were telling you, Are you sure? Are you sure he's living with you? Because that's not the address he put on the application as a nurse. But you're in denial. And you realize that all those years, and you have flashback working in corrections. And at night when I work, at night, coming off from work, maybe 12 o'clock, and you're standing outside the prison, waiting to be picked up because you didn't drive. But you're paying for that car payment. And you waiting. And when you couldn't wait no longer, or you're too ashamed to go back in to the prison to sit and wait for your ride to pick you up, you stand out there, and in the dark, no lights in the front of the prison where the bus stop. And this is the time you're still standing there. This is now 1 o'clock in the morning. And this is around the time that the prison let out the inmates. And the inmates come out and they see you and they say, "What's going on? You still here?" But they have a little respect for you that you have been treating them so nice. They're not going to hurt you. The bus driver see you every day, and he take the extra mile to get you in as close to your home door, because it's early in the morning, it's still dark. And you go home, the car is not there that you're paying for. The person you're with is gone somewhere. And it hit you one day when it confirmed, someone told you he already set up another family. How would you feel? I'll tell you, because it was me. Why I brought this story up? Because I remember feeling just at work, spaced out, worried. I'm glad I didn't drive, because anything could happen when you worry too much and you're going through changes. And I'll be honest with you. I tried to be honest on this channel. Transparent, they say. I lost a lot of jobs because I was just sitting at that nursing station, just blank. I couldn't, at that point, I didn't have self-esteem, because if I did, I would learn to drive. And I realized that situation, survival has to kick in, because now I'm responsible for kids. As a matter of fact, the next door neighbor, who were an older guy, he took me to the hospital 3 a.m. in the morning to have the baby. And I was sitting there in the hospital, because they don't keep you in the hospital long. And I said, what am I going to do? I don't know how to drive. And I have to go back to work and have a new baby. And here I am. I told you I lost many jobs because I kept worrying. And I let my pride, because I feel ashamed to go back to my job, because I've been around every hospital, every nursing home, because I'm a hustler. And so they know that he was going to school and he's in nursing school. That's when you tell your business, so everybody spread it, because they go around too. And now he's going into the same field and applying for the job. I'm talking about mental illness. I break down. I was just spaced out in the job. I couldn't even, by the time I get to the patient medicine, that's the time nurses, when they see you, sometimes people, when they see you in that situation, they kind of make it worse. They don't say, is anything going wrong? Get this person, she's going through something. Maybe we need to do something. And I have to use my life to help you. But I didn't stay in that situation long. Survival instincts kick in. After losing job, because I was just, they say a woman is scorned. Not only in Caucasian, we see it on TV. Caucasian woman is scorned. They do what they have to do and they get money from the men. It don't happen to African American or black women. Nah. You either know that you have to survive. You have to, whatever issue you have going on up here, you have to get it going. You have to go to therapy, and that's something that we're ashamed of. Or get it fixed. Fix our life real soon, because we have responsibility. And I'm not talking about not only bills, but we have kids. And I had to kick in and say, what I'm going to do. I have a newborn. I need to do something. And that's when I decided step away from working in the hospital or working period and do something else to bring some money into the family. And I did. And I'm here today. I'm okay now. I'm stronger, because the first thing I did was, when it happened, after I got my strength, after I deal with the shame, after I deal with the betrayal, how I felt, that I had this idea, this expectation that they're going to be two family. We're going to be a nurse. I wasn't even married. He didn't even marry me. But that's the story of the black life. You get the child, but you don't get the husband. And I think somebody told me where he was living, and I went there and see for myself. I'm not the type of person that cause a scene. I'll just walk away. And I think I knocked at the door, and a little girl came out. And that's where he was living. He came out eventually and saw me. It didn't turn out well, so I just went my separate way. And I looked back, and I never looked back, I should say. I got a car, and it was an Acura. And that was the time I really drived. It was the Acura that did it. And I said this in videos before, how the navigation system helped me, confidence, get me to where I was going. And that's when I decided, hey, I need to move out this state. I need to go to Georgia, because I had family. They say, come. And you know what the scene is. Come. But when you get there, you only can stay one day or maybe a week in their house, and they telling you. But I've already developed that survival skill. So when they say I need to go, I went and got myself together. And I'm telling you this story because a lot of nurses come into the hospital And you heard me say in videos, don't bring your personal life. Leave it at the door. But sometimes it's hard to leave it at the door. We don't know what goes on behind closed door, what the nurses are going through. Maybe IRS is knocking at the door and they don't know, and they've been working 7 days a week, doing 2 jobs, yes, trying to finish school to be a nurse practitioner. And it becomes so much burden. You don't know you're burned out. But people, my thing is, people around you. We can't blame the hospital. We can't blame the agency. The media will put it on. Oh, this nurse worked for CMA, or this nurse worked for TMA agency. I would not blame the agency or the hospital. Hospital administrators don't have a clue that you're going through these changes or these issues of mental health, burned out, whatever. Do they care? You know the answer. I don't have to say it. The only way they would notice it if somebody bring it to their attention. If your work was slipping, like mine. I sit at that nursing station and you could have came and said hello and I didn't hear you. My main thing was, how could that happen to me? How did I not see the sign? How many times I walk into the prison and the inmates say, Miss Foster, what you doing out there this time of night? Don't you got a man? Nobody picked you up? I saw you got on the bus. You think they not watching? They watching. The officers see you. They can't leave. They would love to take you home, but they can't leave. The ones that are leaving, they've been gone. The nurses that are leaving, they've been gone. You always the last one walking out the door. And I'm telling you, some nurses, they probably, the reason why they stay behind, the home life might not be right. And a lot of people say, why you come and tell your business? I have to use myself as an example because I was there. And I'm glad I was not driving at the time, because being spaced out like I was, causing me to lose job, driving would have been a dangerous situation. I want to tell you this. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever drive, you're driving on the road. This can happen too. You're driving on the road and sometimes the music is so good, you didn't realize you was going so fast. And when you catch yourself, you just imagine spaced out and kept going and going and going. Worries will do that to you. Complication at work, whatever issues, you trying to do all this because you're living that grant life. You're not realizing that I don't feel like I can work 7 days, 12 hours, or 16 hours, 7 days a week, and just keep going and keep going and keep going, because you're trying to catch up with the bills. You're trying to put this person in, uplift that man, uplift that woman. It don't work. You sacrifice yourself. So, mental illness is going rampant. Yes, it's in nursing too. And you may work in with your coworker that has these issues and may not want to tell you. Some are taking medication. They may not want to disclose that. And as a matter of fact, they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to tell you that. But if you're there and you notice that your friend or They may not be your friend. Your coworker is going through some issues. Reach out. Try to see what's going on. If they shun you, make sure you tell somebody at the hospital. Because at this point, I don't think the only way the hospital will be aware if somebody bring it to their attention. The agency nurse will not be aware because they're the agency. They're standing off and they send you out. So I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't blame them one bit because they're not aware. But you as the coworker, you are aware. You can say, can I take you home? I don't need you to drive. It don't have to be this person's a drinker. Or if they are, there's a reason for that. Mental illness, depression is not a joke. We need to be a little bit more mindful of others who are in a vulnerable position. And I'm not talking about, I guess what I'm saying is, if we see that our coworker is struggling, reach out and they need you. Pull them off the floor. Give them the break. And I've done that before. I talk about when I work with a nurse and I noticed that she drank a lot. And since she's my coworker, and I think one day she came into the med room, this is in the prison, pissy drunk. Pissy drunk. When I say drunk, drunk. And I just say, stop. You sit right here. I'll give the meds. I just give a ton of meds. I'll give the meds to the inmate. Don't worry about it. She'll just sit here and get yourself together. And I told her, get your life together. Because right now you're not in a frame of mind or state to give out this medication. You might give them the wrong one. Because I see that she needed me. So I wanted to come out here and say, hey, give your coworker a hand. They're going through much situation at home. There's a reason for everything that people do. We just don't see it. Don't chastise them. Don't blow it up. Get it to the right administrator if that's what you want, the supervisor. We don't need to spread it all over. Just give them a hand. Some, if you're full-time in a hospital and they're aware, they can give you, I really don't know what, but I think there's maybe family leave, there may be some kind of, the same leave that they give, or they might have some kind of therapy. I'm trying to say, I don't exactly know, because it's the same thing if you find out that the nurse has a drug problem. They can come back to work if they do this program. So I'm not sure. I need some nurses in their facility who are full-time. Do they have anything for a nurse who's going through depression, mental illness, that they can go and get therapy, but their job is safe? I think that's the main thing that the nurse wants to know, that she'll have a job when she come back, because not many people may feel that would add to their worries, that, oh, now you have to look for a job. But if they're full-time, they should be able to come back to their job.